there a point, though, after you finally settled over in the KHL where you kind of thought, okay, I'm here for a tenure? Did you kind of feel like you were setting up a bit of a home where you had a bit of a tenure there?
Absolutely. So when I got to Riga and learned what that was, which was incredible. It was probably like being a Leaf in Toronto. It's the biggest thing in town. Everyone in the whole country is dialed in on what's going on. You're in the tabloid magazines. You're getting the VIP service everywhere. This was a level of fame that I never thought was possible over there. And I never wanted to leave. I had a 2-year deal there. I played out the 2-year deal. I had my all-star season in that second year, and everybody on that team. So in the KHL, you've got about, there's 30 teams or so. 8 or 9 of them sit outside of the Russian border. So you have your Latvian team, your Belarusian team, Ukrainian team, Kazakhstan, China. So you got all these teams that kind of live outside of the border, and they have different rules. You can have more imports on those teams, but at the same time, you don't quite have, you don't quite have as much of the mob money. You don't have the huge dollars on some of those teams, and so. What happens in Riga a lot of the time is when they get some big stars that come over to that team and do really well, after their contract's up, they sign the big ticket in Russia and they leave, right? They jump ship. Well, I was super invested in staying, willing to take the pay cut to stay, or at least cut from what I could get inside the border. And I had a deal worked out with the GM as we got to the end of that season, that second season. Right before I was about to get that deal faxed over to me, he left the team and went to the new expansion team that was going to be in Prague. And so the new GM took over, who was just all business. And he said, man, for Chris Holt, I could sell him to a Russian team, get the money, pay 5 of my guys with that money. And we're going to just go ahead and do that. And so I was,
here you are slave to the business of it again, right?
I was back in the business. I said, oh, come on. Can I call any shots in this career, ever? Do I ever get to that moment where you get to pick where you want to go? That never came. So I got the call that deal wasn't going to happen, and I was going to leave. And the fan base there was pretty upset. I'd done a lot in the community there and become kind of a face of that team, and they were very upset that I was doing what everybody else does and taking the money, which was not the case. I was just literally getting sold. So I got a call from my Russian agent who says there's this team in Ekaterinburg, which is way in, 6 time zones in. I said they want to buy you from Riga, and I was like, oh God, I don't know. And he goes, well, what's it going to take to get you to go there? I was like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're playing. So I threw out what I thought was a ridiculous number. I think in Riga I was making 200. I think I threw out 650 or something. I threw some number that was triple what I was making. He goes, oh, okay, I'll call you back. So I was in Hawaii on vacation, and I got a call from this agent that said, hey, you wouldn't believe it, but they're going to do it. If you want to. Are you going to go? If they make the purchase, are you just not going to not show up? And I was like, no, so then you got to think. Then you got the German and the Russian dilemma of you got the big ticket way on the inside, or, you go to the DEL and you have a nice career, and everybody who I talk to in the DEL is having an amazing time. They get pension after 2 years. It was a good situation there. And everybody told me to take the money. So I took the money and I went in.
And do you regret it?
This was a clip for a full-length show. If you want to watch the full episode of the clip you just saw, click right here. You get the full show, and they go up live every single Sunday. If you want more clips of what you just saw, click right here. You can see the next great hit.